So what do we know about China advantages as a economic superpower? Where does it have advantages? We know there are some disadvantages of being China, like the language isn't English, and that's like the worldwide. So now the other advantages would be obvious ones, such as like uh, buying, selling weapons to any old country, without doing any, you know, background, finding out what the country is needing it for, finding out if people are going to be murdered with those weapons, if people are going to, citizens are going to be put down. All kinds of bad stuff can happen when you're selling weapons. Weapons are very, very, very big business, though. The U.S. has a bad history of selling weapons to certain groups, toppling regimes. We know that. But in the current era, fairly recently, we do see some morale. We're not gonna give weapons to the Iranians. We're not gonna give weapons to the North Koreans. We're not gonna sell them to North Koreans. We're not gonna sell them to bad rogue regimes. So China is an up and coming military buyer on the world market, and what they're doing is every year they're gaining a smaller, more percentage of sales. Obviously, it's much cheaper. It's very unproven weaponry. Pakistan's a big, a lot of Pakistan's a huge buyer, and it didn't do too well in Operation Sindoor by the Indians, who, basically made it look pretty bad. Same thing in Iran as far as defense weaponry, to shoot down incoming drones and missiles. That looks pretty cheaply made. Even the S-300s and 400s aren't doing that. Those are Russian-made anti-air defense. So the other thing I want to talk about is their economic shrewdness. They're very shrewd. They don't care about high percentage rates, on African countries. They don't care. They'll hit you with debt traps, they're called. And yeah, so there's been a lot of talk about that. And then they seize ports, they seize things like oil or commodities instead of, not being paid anything at all. And we see it repeating over and over and over.